I was like on BART yesterday, and so I usually fall asleep on BART on my way home, and I had my backpack on top of my lap. So I'm just like chilling, like trying to fall asleep, and about 10 minutes into my ride, I feel like a cold sharpness hit my leg, like close to my crotch.
Okay.
And I was like, what the hell? I was like, it's probably nothing. And then about 2 minutes later, I feel it like really kick in. I'm like, dude, okay, my pants are wet. Did I piss myself? But it can't be piss because it's cold.
Oh,
and
wet
then,
dream.
No.
Because everyone knows semen is cold.
I opened my backpack, and then it's my water bottle. I realized I didn't close it. And it just fucking dripped all over my pants as I lift up the backpack, and it looks like I fucking pissed myself so bad. Like, so realistically.
Was there anything in the bag, though, that could have been, like, affected by the water? That's my first thought.
Just a notebook, but like when I lifted up my backpack, I looked at my pants. I started cracking up. I probably looked like a psycho on BART because I was like,
I peed myself.
Yeah, I just pissed myself and I started laughing. But yeah, it was just all bad, and it was like packed on BART. I was like, hilarious.
Did you have a sweater or something that you could have just like casually been holding at crotch level?
No, I had nothing.
You could have just held your backpack at crotch level.
I mean, could have, but it would have been weird.
It would have been less weird than pissing your pants.
No, but
no,
it was raining, so I was kind of just like, oh, like, you know, when people
it
say
just rained on my crotch specifically.
You can't see people cry when it's raining. It's like, oh, they can't see my pants because it's raining.
Yeah, makes sense.
But it was like this huge dark spot, and
I
it was a
hope
little
I can see
sunny.
your pants even though it's raining.
That's why you're wearing shorts?
Yeah, you can see my pants anytime. What's up, everyone, and welcome to episode 7 of WhatisPodcast, the show where every week 3 best friends and you come together to talk games, shows, movies, and tech. I'm one of your hosts, Patrick Jovez. Alongside me, I have everyone's best friend, Brian Rohr.
So, I have some bad news to share. I found out that I wasn't actually everybody's best friend.
Oh, was it Byron?
Yeah, Byron's the real best friend for everybody. Just heads up.
Okay. And, of course, we can't finish out the show without our very own rock star, Ryan McGeary.
How's it going, guys?
What's up, Ryan?
Nothing much, man. Just trying to fly my drone as much as possible, and I'm actually finally getting my computer fixed.
You know what's hilarious?
Well, not fixed, but upgraded to a new... I think I'm going to do El Cap, and then I can finally put my sweet 980 Titan overclocked in, finally.
Sweet. Something about a level cap upgrade.
So you have a Mavic, right? Am I correct?
For the drone? Yeah, I have a Mavic Pro. Mm-hmm.
So the Dialed In Project guys, they just got a Mavic as well. I don't know if it's like the same exact one, but he was like,
there's only one version. Mm-hmm.
Holy crap, you guys have the same drone.
That's pretty cool.
That's hilarious.
That's how cool I am, Patrick. You underestimate me.
They only made 2 in the world.
And they have them both here in the same state.
And me and this other podcast got the exclusive DJI drone. Yeah, that's basically how the world works, right?
Yeah. Well, it's good to have you guys back for another week. And with that being said, let's start our first segment. What the fuck is our first segment called?
Game time!
Game time, motherfucker!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our first segment, Game Time. Well, first...
Sorry, this is a shit show.
That's why we're here, though.
I love it.
Fine.
You recovered it fine, but it's whatever. We're keeping all of this in.
Okay.
Fine. Welcome to Game Time today, guys. This week, we have a pretty interesting topic, talking about nerfs in games and how patches have changed modern gaming. But first, I want to touch on a little bit of news. Nintendo Switch eShop has tied your account, or Nintendo Switch eShop is now being tied to your account. Sony files for a knockoff of the Switch, essentially, and Switch download size for games is getting confirmed. Patrick, you want to talk about some of these?
You sound like you have no idea what you're talking about.
What are you talking about? He's just handing it off to somebody who.
Also, this was my topic. Anyways, yeah. So the Nintendo Switch, the eShop is getting a ubiquitous account for across Nintendo platforms. Mm-hmm. So, like, it's in its early inception right now, but supposedly you could probably buy. I don't know what. Maybe something for like your 3DS, and then that is linked to your My Nintendo account or something like that, and then you could probably download it to your Switch, or you could download something on your iPhone like Super Mario Run, maybe, and maybe they'll have a Super Mario Run on the Nintendo Switch, and yeah, so on and so forth, something kind of like that.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be able to see some, I don't know, a way to download titles we've already bought without an extra fee. That would be nice.
Again, like, Nintendo isn't the best company when it comes to, like, online services.
Nope.
So, I mean...
Just a plain...
Take that with a grain of salt. That would be cool with all your past purchases, but they do also need the money.
Yeah, you're right.
But yeah, and going on to some more news, like Ryan said, Sony files a patent for a Switch-esque handheld. It looks like a very early prototype.
Yeah, it looks kind of ugly, to be honest.
You shut your whore mouth.
It looks ugly. The joysticks stick out at either end like freaking weird antennas. It just it looks like such an afterthought.
It looks like they pretty much looks like they took the middle section completely off the DualShock and then kind of just got like a iPad or something and then jammed it into the sides. Yeah.
The sides?
Oh, I guess looking at it a second time, the analog sticks slide on. It kind of looked like everything about the controller was separate except for the analog sticks. And that's so weird. Why would
but this is very reminiscent of the Switch design. And yeah, I mean, this is weird and big news at the same time because the last time Sony had a handheld was the PS Vita. And although they don't really it's not that they don't support it, but they don't really push it out in the forefront anymore. It's more of the third-party developers making... It's
mostly for the Japanese market.
Yes. Or like people like Brian who like novel games.
And puzzles and doing
and
math.
Puzzles and getting your calculator. Get your calculator ready. I'm like, what?
Why would I ever... Yeah, the Vita, I think, you're right to say, in a sense, was dropped by Sony. They kind of messed up a little bit, and I think we all realized that they didn't have enough support, even from their first-party studios, getting games out. And it was a fantastic piece of kit. It was great hardware, and it just ultimately just failed. So maybe this potential patent, and if they do release a handheld, and they do it right, I'd be down.
Yeah. I mean, I got a lot of use out of my Vita, especially right off the bat for Monster Hunter. Even though it was a PSP absolutely. Port, still it justified my cost. And although I don't play it as much, like I loved and I don't regret owning a PS Vita at all.
Sure.
Last bit of news: the Switch download size for games, for certain games, are out. This news comes via an article from IGN, listed in individual software entries on the Nintendo website. The games and their download sizes are as follows. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, which comes out day and date with the Nintendo Switch on March 3rd, is 13.4 gigabytes. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, 7 gigs. Snipper Clips, Cut It Out Together, 1.6 gigs. Disgaea 5, 5.92 gigs. Puyo Puyo Tetris, 1.09 gigs. I Am Setsuna, 1.4 gigs. Dragon Quest Heroes 1 and 2? 32 gigs? And Nobunaga's Ambition, 5 gigs. So hold on. If you get the standard, just no expanded memory card, no nothing, you can't even get Dragon Quest 1 and 2.
Nope. If what you're saying is right, and that's the size of those games, you're shit out of luck. Better get all your carts.
This is such a weird, interesting launch for Nintendo, because on one hand, they have so many hiccups going on. On the other hand, pre-orders are out. and I have no idea what's going to happen with the Switch.
Yeah, it's taken a lot of different twists and turns. We'll have to see about 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks, to find out what it's like. So
yeah, I mean it's weird to make people have such a hardware deficit out of the gate, you know, like how like it's just odd that they didn't see this coming. It seems like, or they did and they just decided it wasn't a big deal. Maybe it's not a big deal, you know. Maybe people aren't gonna really think about it once they have all these really fun games in their hands. You know, maybe this is just almost too much speculation, but it's definitely interesting that they have at launch a game that's too big for the console out of the box. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Like I said, I just have no idea what's going to happen, and it's going to be interesting to see how the Nintendo Switch fares once it's out in the wild.
Yeah.
But that's it for the news.
Brian, I know you're really excited about a certain release next week.
Yes. So by the time everybody's listening to us, it'll probably be already out. But we have coming up very soon the new title by Guerrilla Games, the Horizon Zero Dawn.
Oof.
And it's looking...
I'm really excited.
Fantastic. Yes. It's like, I think a lot of us were a little, not necessarily hesitant, but, you know, we were trying to keep ourselves contained in terms of our hype level for this game. But reviews are coming in from all across the board, and they're looking amazing. Like, they're saying, I'm hearing things like this is one of the best exclusives
ever
for the PS4 available right now. Visually, it's apparently just gorgeous, and the big thing that I think a lot of us care about here is it runs at a stable frame rate. It'll maintain those visuals.
Buttery smooth 60 frames.
Not even
it's
close.
Locked at 30, right?
It's locked at 30.
Okay.
But it's a good
really doesn't
What
mean
about
anything.
What about with my Pro though?
The Pro currently, it's going to launch with the Pro mode is going to be rendered at with checkerboard 4K. So you're going to be upscaled to a higher resolution, but you'll stick to 30 frames. So if you don't have a 4K TV, you might notice a little bit of better resolution, but that's not going to help you a lot. But in the coming weeks, they did say, Guerrilla said that they were going to launch a kind of light patch mode, kind of like how Final Fantasy 15 has a light mode where just a couple of days ago you could now play the game in closer to 60 frames for Final Fantasy. So I'm assuming you're going to get like a lower performance mode that runs at a more unlocked frame rate. Coming soon for PS4 Pro, so look forward to that. But the game's looking fantastic. I hope we all get to talk about it in the next coming weeks. So keep your eyes out for it.
Yeah, very exciting. So let's get into the main subject that we wanted to talk about today. And Patrick is really the one who brought it up by talking about nerfing and, you know, how like just online nerfing. And then I kind of wanted to go a little bit deeper with that. So we'll round back to online nerfing specifically.
As we all
for games,
like to know, rock stars like to go deeper.
The rockstar. Go deep.
Always. And
go deep or go deeper.
No, go home.
I want a shirt that says that. I'd wear
We
that.
can make those shirts. If you guys want a shirt that says go deep or go deeper, hit us up. We'll make
get 'em.
those.
We'll get them for you.
I'll draw it.
But yeah, I wanted to start I wanted to start the conversation in more of like a broad sense, and then kind of narrow it down. And this whole patching topic made me really think about how games, not just for specific online balancing and weapons and stuff, but how games have now had the ability to completely change, like completely become something else. And I think we kind of take it for granted now. I mean, think about, you know, all the DLCs that are just expected now. I would say that, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I mean, do you agree? I mean, when you get a big AAA title, you expect DLC. I mean, even with Final Fantasy, which already has easy 100 hours of gameplay, when they said, you know, oh, we're gonna have DLC with all this stuff, it's like, hell yeah, you are. You know, I mean, it's even for a game that's as well rounded as Final 15 with all of its content. I mean, think Fallout 4. Fallout 4, very like a ton of stuff going on, and yet they still pumped out extra stuff. I mean, it's just part of what we expect now. which is cool. I mean, DLC is a great way to make a game replayable. You know, you can really extend your enjoyment in a game just from, you know, an extra 15, 20 hours of DLC, you know. But that also kind of comes with a dark flip side, right? I mean, at what point does games that aren't as complex as like Fallout 4 and Final Fantasy 15, at what point are the developers either you know, withholding content or pushing the deadline and then putting kind of the rest of the game out later for profit, you know, monetizing on this you know, format. I mean, this is new. I mean, this wasn't a thing that people did maybe even 10 years ago, even though like there was an ability to online patch. I mean, it's a pretty like it's almost like it almost reminds me of like pay to play, like mobile gaming. It's just like you can't get all of the game unless you pay for it. Whereas mobile gaming is a bit more manipulative, you know, where they give you like 90% of the game, and if you want to like beat your friends or speed up something, then you have to drop $1 on like 10 rubies or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So it's very interesting that this kind of profit model has dominated modern games. And like, think about games like Destiny, you know, people were pissed that the first DLC was $20 and the second one was $40. I mean, there was a huge backlash against that. I mean, they had to do a lot of damage control, like justifying it, saying like, oh, it's gonna be worth it. We have this many raids, this many maps. Like, trust us, it's gonna be worth it. It's like, well, yeah. That's like a pretty blind leap of faith when people are, you know, pounding at the door saying like, why are we having to essentially rebuy the game? Yeah, we already own the game. This isn't a sequel. Why are we paying $60 after 2 DLCs? We bought the game twice now. You know, and you get all these like package deals where if you pay that premium up front, like you pay $120, you get the Battlefront Star Wars Ultimate Edition, you get all the DLC out the gate. What if you don't even like the game halfway through? You know, I mean, it's kind of a crapshoot.
That's why you use GameFly for all of your gaming needs.
Oh God.
Oh, it's
I was giving you so much crap for that. I'm like, you still have GameFly, and then here I am complaining about, you know, spending too much money.
Sucks for you.
I know. Hey Brian, can we share GameFlies?
Yeah, dude. They do movies now too. It's great.
Perfect.
But yes,
they do movies.
Yeah, you can get movies. It's like Netflix now, like the old Netflix.
That's kind of weird. That's
and it's included in your plan, so you can just do movies or games. It's all part of it. But yes,
that's kind of.
I
don't know how I feel about like having a waiting for a hard copy of a movie though, because that's I feel like it's so much easier to stream than a full game though. So that's odd to me now.
I agree.
I mean, what do you guys think? I mean, have you ever had an instance where you're like, hell no, I'm not paying, you know, the double premium price for this game, like, or, you know, felt frustrated at the feeling of maybe buying a game twice? I mean, I'm sure everyone's felt that at some point, especially with all this stuff going on right now, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think your example of Destiny is like fantastic. I think
that's exactly why I dropped out.
Yeah, both Patrick and I think Ryan, you might have stayed a little bit longer. But we basically got to like you were saying, the Dark Below or the Crota's DLC, I think in late January, early February, and after that, you know, we were kind of both burned out, but at the same time, just like, damn, that was expensive, and we just played like one raid that was pretty good, but it wasn't enough. And then when we saw Taken King and how it's supposed to be bringing everything
that
back,
was supposed to be
there,
at launch,
but for $40, I was like, there's no way. Like,
well, what they're really doing is splitting their communities. You know, they're separating hardcore gamers from casual gamers, and I would say that we're probably more on the end of hardcore gamers. But it's also a financial thing. Like, I don't want to spend a premium for every single game that comes out. You know, I mean, I remember 343 being very vocal about like we're giving out all the maps for free. We don't want to divide our online community. You know, it sucks, man. Like, I remember playing Destiny a lot when it came out, and they divided the community. I didn't get to play any of the DLC until the Gold Edition came out, and GameStop had a deal where if you had the original disc, you could trade it in for the Gold Edition for like, and then you'd walk out basically only spending $20. Like, they gave you an inflated resale value on the original one in order to trade out, basically.
Yeah, so here's the thing for me.
But it was a year later.
Yeah, for how like nerfs and just kind of like the whole like how online patches kind of changed like the gaming landscape. So like remember growing up, once you bought a game, that was it.
Yeah.
You know, if there was something wrong with the game, that you'd have to figure that out. There's no way to send it back. There was like nothing to do about it. If there was like with the exception of like Capcom games like Street Fighters and stuff like that, there was never like a rebalance of any other game, or there was an extra content waiting for you or anything like that. And growing up playing games like that for a set amount of years, I am very particular with the DLC that I end up buying. Mm-hmm. And I can honestly say I could probably count on my hands the amount of times I've actually bought a DLC or bought something that you couldn't actually do back then to change your game.
Okay.
And whether that be aesthetics or guns or like a moveset or something like that.
That sucks though that the developers have cheated you out of experiencing their game because it has this monetary wall that you don't want to jump over.
It depends on what side that you're on, because when, for example, Rocket League, we spend so much time on the game. The fact that it came out for free, like if I would have known how much time we spent on that game, I would say instantly $60 worth my $60 every penny. And I bought
the game twice.
Yeah. I even spent money. This is one of the rare games I spent like money for the DLC on. I saw there's a fucking DeLorean. Are you kidding me? Like, this is the closest thing I get to driving a DeLorean. And this is the only car I use. You know, like I spent so much time using that car, and it's like that for me. It depends on if you are willing to put up that monetary price and it's worth it for you, then go ahead. But
that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. Make it non-consequential. Make it an aesthetic change. Don't make it a game that can make you have an advantage over someone else. Don't give someone new DLC, new content with guns that are better than everyone else's. Like, that sucks. It's like, it kind of reminds me of, honestly, Pokemon back in the day, right? Like, you got a freaking Holo Charizard and you're like, oh, snap. And then the new set came out, and then, well, I guess the new generation, because with the other packs, it was still pretty balanced. But, you get these new generations, and it costs less and less energy to do all this, like, stuff. And it's just like, I remember building a deck years later with, like, a cross between, like, old and new cards, and the old cards didn't stack up at all. I mean, it's the same kind of concept of just, you're gonna make stuff bigger and better, which is fine, but at least rebalance the old weapons, or don't make it a paywall. The paywall it's just so disappointing, and I get it. It also doesn't make sense to not do that. But you see, think about The Witcher 3. The Witcher 3 was, it's touted as one of the best games ever, and it's just so full by itself. It has so much going on, and it doesn't. I mean, there are DLCs and the paywalls are there, but it's like an extra game, basically. I mean, there's like 45 hours in each DLC. I mean, it's nuts. It's just incredible how much extra stuff there is to do. And for me as a gamer, that's like, there's a right way to do it that, is within the best interest of the gamer to really actually enhance the game. And then there's ways to be kind of scummy about it and take advantage of people who, who want to be on the other side of the paywall for something either benign as like a flame gun, or, or just wanting to maintain a competitiveness within the online community. I mean,
yeah, but see, that's the thing. The DLC and stuff like that, well, the predatory DLC kind of feeds off of those people that are like, fuck yeah, I'll pay $5 for this to make me better. And unfortunately, until those people die out, which is probably never.
Cool.
Yeah, because we're never gonna like live in an era where once you get the game is done. But that's over.
But we do see people voting with their wallets, right? I mean, for me, the biggest disappointment in a launch was Battlefield 4. I mean, it was just reprehensible. in every way.
I think you mean that it was the best launch.
Yeah, sure. It was just unplayable. You couldn't get online, and this game is an online game. I mean, the community doesn't really care about the story that much. I mean, you play it once and then you hop online, or some people don't ever play the story. Yeah. I mean, I like to play the story just at least once, but when your main
I can't get past the tank part.
Right? It's I don't even want to talk about it. But when you know your community is like 95% online, and you release a game that's like the servers are crashing, the rubber banding is awful, the hitboxes aren't registering, you're shooting people like with their back turned to you, and like you empty 3 mags in it, and then they turn around and like shoot you once, and you're just like, what just happened?
Yeah.
I mean, it was crazy. I mean, literally, it was chaos. I mean, you were trying to play this game and you couldn't because nothing was working the way that it was supposed to, and it was insane. I mean, they got so much backlash from the community that they actually ruined the reputation as a studio for a while. I think it's bounced back a little bit, but it's insane. I mean, their stock plummeted like, an insane amount. I think the day after they tweeted that they are going to put all of their projects on hold to fix Battlefield 4, their stock dropped 8%.
Mm-hmm.
In one day. And then it continued to fall after that. I mean, it was just insane. People actually ended up suing the studio because they had felt so
falsely advertised.
Yeah, the investors backed out. Investors were suing them. I mean, there was just all this craziness, and I really think it has something to do with the fact that it was up against a console release, and I think most games that are launch titles tend to suffer because there is a hard deadline that cannot be done. But I mean, you saw the backlash of it for a long time. I mean, I think Bungie was actually the one taking shots at them afterwards. They were like, we're gonna push back the game an extra 2 months because we don't want to be like DICE or whatever. I mean, people were openly taking shots at DICE, and DICE took it really hard. They took it personally. They in a self-deprecating way. They weren't like angry at other people. They were like, yeah, we messed up. Like, how do we fix this? But it's crazy. I mean, I never experienced something because it took them a year. It took them a year to fix it.
Yeah, but we have to say though, like once they did though, like I'm surprised that they were able to fix it, because the end game of Battlefield 4 was like, it had some of the best suppression mechanics out of Battlefield 1
I still played it.
Can't pull it off.
I still pushed through it. It was such a good game. It was because Battlefield 3 was just so much fun, and Battlefield 4 was equally as fun, if not more fun, except for the online networking problems. Yeah. It was very disappointing. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to talk about it.
Would you say this is a very touching subject? But you were feeling that, like, for Witcher 3, that Hearts of Stone and Blood and Wine did DLC right? Like,
yeah,
it was expansions done correctly.
It felt like they actually were done with the intent on really expanding the universe in a meaningful way that actually gave you more than 15 hours of gameplay. I mean, I would say the standard for DLC is get one storyline going, slap 4 or 5 main missions and maybe like 10 side missions, and call it a day. I mean, that's the standard, way of going about DLC these days. So it'll be interesting to see what Final Fantasy 15 does, because I have high expectations for that DLC. I think they're probably going to do a very good job with it as well.
Wait, isn't DLC already out
for Final Fantasy? Well, there's more coming.
Oh, you're talking about the other one, not the Chocobo Parade thing, right?
Yes, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
There's the
Chocobo Festival.
Yeah, there's gonna be
I'm not counting that. I'm talking about
Right.
And then
as that the one?
Prompto and Ignis.
Yeah. Did they also say that they're trying to make some DLC for Final Fantasy where you could play like every character, like every main character could be playable?
I mean, that's I like at what one time, or just in general, like everybody.
I didn't really read too much in the article, but I remember it showed like Cindy and a whole bunch of stuff. It was just like, that
would be cool. I didn't know.
I don't know if it'll be as simple as like a avatar change or something like that, but it's going to be something to keep in mind.
And there's going to be co-op too, apparently. So
Oh, I actually
Too bad I'm never playing that game ever again.
I already sent mine back.
You already beat it. All right, so me and Brian, we're gonna hold that down for sure.
Psych, I already sent it back.
We need to play fucking Uncharted 3 Horde mode.
Okay.
Uncharted 4
Let's
Horde
do that
mode.
soon.
I just want to play Uncharted 3 multiplayer.
It's fun.
But yeah, I mean, for me, Battlefield 4 was just Battlefield 4 was, I think, actually the first and last game that I ponied up for the front end premium. I did the Battlefield 4 premium, so I paid like whatever it was, like the $60 for the game, and then I went to the online store and paid an extra like 50 or whatever. So I had all the DLCs right out the gate. I had all early access. I had everything because I loved Battlefield 3 so much, and I couldn't wait to experience this with my friends. And so it seemed like something. It was just a no-brainer. And that also, I think, added salt to the wound, is that I had spent all this money on a game that I felt was unplayable. So, I mean, it's just, again, Patrick, like you were saying, that predatory kind of type of DLC where they were making people buy the game twice instantly, basically, instead of paying $60 for a game. Now people from day one are spending $120 and essentially buying the game twice for a game that's not even, the second half of the content isn't even out yet. It's nuts. And people have every right to feel like that's what they need to do, because, I mean, you want to experience it first. You want to experience it with your friends, and then buying it when it's a lower price. I mean, it's not the same when it's an online community. I mean, the population and the community of these experiences is important. If you can't fill a Battlefield server, then you'll never know what it's like to play this game in the way that it's meant to be played. So, yeah, it's kind of a crapshoot when it comes to online shooters and stuff like that. But I don't know, and it's, I mean, I think the whole question really becomes: Are people shipping out games that are unfinished? You know, are these is it a positive thing because games in the past that were unfinished just fizzled and
never
died?
saw the light of day. Mm-hmm.
Or is it now everyone has the opportunity to remedy that, or is it becoming a crutch? I mean, For Honor just came out and they already have a day one patch. Forza 5.
Well, I feel like every game has a day one patch nowadays.
Yeah, like, I know, right? Like
it's not a game unless they have a day one patch immediately after.
And I don't remember what game it was. Oh,
Final Fantasy 15 had a day one patch. The King's
added cutscenes and
crown.
shit.
But how is the King's crown?
Something like crown update. Yeah.
Yeah.
But how freaking annoying is it that you download a game, or you buy a game and you pop it in and you have to wait a fucking hour for it to update, and you're just like, I just want to play the game. I just want to play the game. And it's just so, I hate that. I've had that happen several times. You know, like, I download something before work. I get home and the download's ready. I press play.
As we speak right now, Brian brought over his Resident Evil, and we turned on a PS4 to actually put the install data.
Yeah, so
that's awesome. But it sometimes it doesn't always work, or Xbox is not as good with that. Like, I remember buying the
you said it. Xbox is not as good as PS4.
Everyone he said it.
Confirmed.
We're gonna keep that.
Take it from the expert,
hold it over
Rockstar.
my head, right? Use his own words against him.
I mean, but not to kind of keep this topic dragging on, but when I created the topic,
the attacks, man. Ouch.
Oh, you're gonna get some too, Brian. Yeah, when I kind of thought about the topic, I was coming at it from more of a like strictly nerf and buff patch. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm really into fighting games. A long time ago, before like all these onlines and stuff, like the internet and Al Gore and stuff like that. Before that happened,
okay. Global warming.
Yeah, before that happened, like I said, you would have to learn and adapt based on what people exploited in video games and like that. And
it's kind of like Super Smash Brothers. I mean, like that.
Yeah, that's a perfect example. Super Smash Brothers Melee. That is a 15-year-old game now. I think it just had its birthday, last year. Mm-hmm. It's a 15-year-old game, but people still play it to this day because of all the nuances you could find with like the game. Of course, the community is the big driving point for that game still being alive. But yeah, these people played hours and hours and learned the ins and outs of a game. And what they thought was, oh, this is how the game's played. You can't beat this a certain way. Someone said, no, this is how you do it. Mm-hmm. And it keeps changing the way the game is and how evolved the community becomes. Mm-hmm. And when you introduce patches and stuff like that, it's kind of like whoever cries the loudest gets what they want.
Squeaky wheel gets the grease.
I know Brian knows exactly how I feel when it comes to Uncharted multiplayer.
Oh, yeah. So, Uncharted 3, I mean, it got hit so many times with updates.
And the thing is, like, every update, we're like, we looked at the patch notes and we're like, damn it, they keep nerfing everything that we like to use.
Yeah.
Other people were like, oh, well, you shouldn't be using that anyways. I'm like, no, dude, it was in the game at the beginning. Why didn't you get better?
Yeah.
You know?
It's you know what's kind of crazy is it ends up being like specifically with shooters, it's always the original game, like the original starter guns that don't get touched at all because they're the ones that the people use first and then totally move past, never touch again. Those guns tend to be, I've noticed, like the best ones by the end of a game's online life cycle because they're the ones that are so off the radar that no one bothers touching them, and then they end up being some of the best ones because all the really good guns have just been nerfed to oblivion. Yeah.
Except for my Red Death. My Red Death has always been fucking awesome.
Well,
it just got better.
My least favorite patch was the Icebreaker. That thing was just so good, and they ruined it.
They killed it.
They ruined it. Brian,
yeah.
Do you have a sore spot in your heart for a particular patch?
Probably something in Uncharted 3. I think they just destroyed my Galil Mall, like the G Mall. They just
okay. I was like, what the hell is a Galil Mall?
It's what it's based off of, the actual gun. But yeah, they just some of the guns that we really liked that were like basically the FAL.
They took your FAL.
The FAL was a skill cannon, and they literally like if you knew what to do with that weapon, you could terrorize. Amazing. But if you sucked at it, then it wasn't that great. I mean, it was good.
It's kind of the sense of how Gears of War has like a timing for reloads, but except for the FAL had a timing for when to pull the trigger.
Correct.
If you knew that timing, you could shoot it like it was damn near fully automatic.
Right.
But if you didn't, and you didn't practice that, and you had pressure from firefights or someone was coming up behind you, and if you didn't practice and play enough, then you'd get owned. Yeah. But now we're in such a like crybaby community or crybaby like area where people are like, well, it's not easy for me to win. I should say something about it. And unfortunately, they get the benefit of the doubt because developers, they need to make money. They need to keep their game going. Mm-hmm. But it's unfortunate that is the reality.
Yeah. They just got to find the balance. Like it's their intellectual property. They need to be able to like manage it in a way that they deem is correct. And I know it's good to take the advice of some of the community because when you have millions or not millions, you have hundreds of thousands of people playing a popular title. You get to test things that their test groups could never do in the same amount of time or a shortened amount of time. So certain things come up that they didn't see and do need to be changed. But when people just complain about something because they're just not good enough or they don't like it, then it's just not a right choice to change it based on that complaint.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, before we get going here, guys, what games are you guys playing this week?
I'll go first. Nothing.
Absolutely.
No. I've been training for the past 2 weeks for my new position, and I got the promotion. Yay!
Congratulations. That's great.
But yeah,
I'm not impressed.
I've only had enough time to finish the first trial of what's this game called? Pokemon.
Oh, okay.
I finished the first trial, and I beat the first Kahuna. I guess, from Melee Island. Is the dude that gives you like the Z crystal, the fighting Z crystal.
Everybody gets Z crystals.
God damn it.
I ruined it, Brian. You ruined it.
I didn't know that was going to happen. I thought I was going to get it in the first guy. It's so unpredictable. But yeah, that's literally the only amount of time I had to play. It was like probably 30 minutes of Pokemon. And luckily I beat that guy just like last night because all my Pokemon I have this problem where I like leveling up people way past my level up point. or past the point of difficulty.
Mm.
So like I'll be fighting like a level 3 Caterpie, and I'll have like a level 40 like Charizard or something.
I just want to crush everything.
Yeah, I don't know why. When it comes to Pokemon, I love over leveling. But yeah, like finally, I beat the guy, and I had like my Pokemon start to obey me now. Like everybody was being a bitch, and it was like,
oh yeah, you don't have them.
Ghastly is loafing around. I'm like, damn it.
Yeah, that's an interesting mechanic. I forgot about that.
What about you, Brian?
Yeah,
Jinx, you owe me a kiss.
oh,
Mwah.
oh, nice.
Oh, Jinx, you owe me another kiss.
No, keep going. Yeah, for me, so I finished my Zero Escape game on the Vita a couple days ago. Fantastic, really loved it. And lately, I've been getting some time in with the kind of interesting indie platformer, an indie game that came out, and it's called Disc Jam. And it's in beta right now.
That's what my PlayStation says every time I put in 2 discs.
Yeah, you done messed it up, man. You can do one at a time.
Wait, is that the one that they showed at was it PSX?
Mm-hmm.
Was like the updated version of like Windjammers?
Yep, it's exactly.
That's what you Snapchatted me.
That's what I sent you guys.
Gotcha.
So
yep.
it literally plays it's like very similar to Windjammers. The way I like to imagine it is just golf.
It's like Pong.
Golf. Wow.
Pong.
Pong, but
golf. You failed as a gamer.
I was gonna say disc golf, but that's wrong too. It's like tennis, but with a disc.
Okay.
So disc golf.
Disc
tennis.
Disc tennis.
There you go.
With Pong.
It sounds like you guys have a stutter.
Disc tennis. Figure it out.
Disc golf.
Push it.
You've been a great audience. Thanks. I'm wrapping up Final Fantasy 15. I'm like almost done with all the end game dungeons. I haven't had a ton of time to play stuff, but that's something I know I can like pick up for like 20 minutes, beat one dungeon, and then kind of walk away from it because I'm like past the point of like wanting to do other stuff. I think I've cleared most of the missions at this point, so it's kind of a nice one and done for me at this point.
Sure.
I'm excited for the DLC though, for sure. And I think I'll pick up Horizon next week when that comes out, so that'll be dope.
They patched 15 though, right? You can now get to level 120.
For Final Fantasy.
Yes, for 15. Yeah, and you can
I
have
need
200
to
photos.
patches, make sure I get that because I'm like level 86, so I need to make sure that I don't waste any XP or anything. Cool, good to know. All right, guys, make sure to let us know what games you're playing this week, and then also what was your most hated or loved nerf of a game that you played.
Or buff.
But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for Game Time. Stick with us. We'll be right back with our TV segment, What's On?
All right, welcome back, everybody. So for today on What's On, we're going to talk about game shows, and in particular, which game show do we find to be the most entertaining? Now, I realize as I was kind of looking into this, like, what a game show can be, the definition varies per person, but I guess usually it's just like a show in which participants are competing for a prize. So there's a lot of genres or a lot of shows you could say for this, so I'm pretty sure there's no wrong answer. Like, I was looking at some other things that I feel people might disagree with.
Oh, I'm sorry, I got lost. Were we talking about my topic again?
Yeah, the one, the second one you came up with.
So we're doing. Okay, yeah, gotcha. Go ahead.
Okay,
good job.
Just don't get angry when you say that's not a game show. Yeah. So, what are your thoughts? I guess we can ask Patrick because you were so kind. What is the most entertaining game show in your opinion?
Damn, there's some good ones. I might have to do an honorable mentions list for this.
Everybody gets honorable mentions.
Yeah. So the first one that, like, I was looking this up today, and obviously, I was gonna say, Wheel of Fortune. Obviously.
Okay. Apparently, it's the only one.
That's the be all end all of games.
Okay.
No, but like growing up, I loved Wheel of Fortune. I always like when you have to like fill out the phrase or something like that, and just having like you add like a roulette spinning table to that. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh shit, like this is real. Gambling. This is money. Money. And then you hit that bankrupt, and I'm like, oh crap. Mm-hmm. But then yeah, it was such a good game in the sense that like I really like filling out like the letters. It was strategic in a way that you're like, oh, can I buy a vowel? Most like if you got into the further parts of that, you'd be like, oh, most words have like this vowel in it, and they'll like be right, and they'll get that and stack up the money towards that vowel. Like that vowel would be like $500, and then all of a sudden this word has like 5 A's, and then you go, it's $2,500 added to your bank, and then also you get some really bad answers.
I was about to say, I was waiting for that part.
South Park reference. Naggers. People that annoy you. Yeah. But other game shows that are really good and notable, Hollywood Squares. My God, that was amazing. You get a 3x3 column tic-tac-toe with comedians, and the entire time the comedians answer the questions in like the funniest way possible, but you have to kind of read them and think, oh, are they telling the truth, or is that the wrong answer? And depending on what you get like an X or O, and then you have to play tic-tac-toe with those celebrities. Another great game show is Jeopardy. Slightly harder to get into, especially for me. I'm not as well-rounded as I'd like to be, so unless they have like the video game section or music section on, like, or maybe a little bit of sports, then I'll be like, okay, I could kind of pay attention. But when they have like ancient Egypt for 1200, I'm like, that's all you. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. Huge. I don't. Do you consider this a game show? Is the show where the points don't matter?
Okay, are they winning?
Whose line is it anyway?
Yeah, it's a game show.
It's more of an improv show, right?
Yeah. Are they winning anything?
They're winning my money by me watching it.
It could be arguable, but it doesn't matter. I mean, it's still technically around the same. Love
that show. That's an honorable mention because I don't think that's an actual game show. And probably from my childhood, like Guts or what is it? Legends of Hidden Temple.
Ooh,
nice, good one.
Oh my God. Yeah, those are my kind of picks for game shows.
All right, Byron. What about you?
Byron.
Byron.
That's gonna be a shirt too.
Just kind of, I feel like I got to go based on like what game shows I've watched the most. And I know we talked about this the other week because it was my pick for like guilty pleasure TV, but
is that technically a game show?
If they're competing for cash or money,
if that's
a game show.
Dang, yeah.
And I don't know, I like cooking, and so to watch Gordon Ramsay be an asshole to all these people and just watch people actually make really good dishes in the competition stuff, not the like service, like the dinner service where he like slams stuff and cusses people out, but that's fun. But watching some of the dishes they make is really cool. Just seeing how their brains work, and it definitely gets better when you get closer to the end. So I've always really enjoyed that. I mean, I remember watching Iron Chef growing up and stuff as well. But I would say probably an honorable mention that I'm not sure that you guys was on your radar, and it wasn't on mine until I even like thought about it, was Survivor. Survivor was
I was gonna what's one of the best ones.
You are the weakest link. Goodbye.
Yeah.
What?
That's the right one, right? Survivor. No,
you're fired. No, you're terminated.
You're
Damn it.
Link. Welcome to the Shark Tank. That's right.
That's it.
Shark Tank Survivor.
It was probably the most successul like reality TV game show of
them all. Yeah.
Probably ever. Honestly, it was just
for 2000s. Yeah, easy.
Yeah, I remember watching the first one and it just being like, whoa, what did I just watch? Like that was it. Nothing touched it. I mean, nothing was like it, and it was that they did a really excellent job in editing it to the point where they had these compelling storylines of like interpersonal drama and all the stuff. And it's not normally my flavor, but the tropical setting was really beautiful, and just like the host was very charismatic, and then the challenges were cool, honestly. Like they would make these cool like obstacle courses on a beach in the middle of like Tahiti or something, and you're like, what? I mean, it was awesome. It was low key actually having to survive. I mean, people wouldn't actually have to do obstacle courses if they were in a survival situation, but it kind of took the the actual starving might die part and made it fun. Sure. I mean,
for the viewers,
obviously,
for the rest of us,
obviously. Yeah. And then one other honorable mention, got to go with Family Feud.
Yeah, Family Feud. I was waiting for someone to say that.
Yeah, I didn't want to take that for somebody. Yeah, but Family Feud.
Well, too bad. I've already done it.
Got it.
Yeah, Family Feud is amazing.
Yeah, well, it's just the whole dueling families thing, and
they clap no matter what. It's like it's kind of like Stepford creepy.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and I gotta go with Louis Anderson.
My name's Louis Anderson.
Show me boobies.
Oh my god.
Yeah, just super good. Just classic. Probably my favorite, like kind of classic game show. You know, that's more conventional, or what you think of when you think of game shows.
Yeah.
What about you, Pat?
Yeah, Pat.
Oh, I'll go again.
Back to you, Pat.
Although I do want to shout out Celebrity Game Night. That show is like, it's a newer game show. It's probably like 2 or 3 years old now, but love that with Jane Lynch as a host. Awesome.
Cool. Back to you, Byron.
We're just not.
All right,
we're never
all right, Patrick.
Brian's not touching this one.
Back to you. Yeah, I was gonna say definitely probably one of the most entertaining has to be Survivor for sure. Another one that I really liked. I don't think. I mean, we still remember it, but I really like a Fear Factor and stuff like that.
Oh my god, I haven't thought of Fear
those
Factor
are fun.
in years.
Those are super good. Like
the second challenge was always eating something fucking disgusting.
This is a horse's testicles. Good luck.
Yeah,
the later seasons they just ran out of stuff, so like people just lick Joe Rogan's balls for the
yeah. I think we stopped watching by that time. I think Dave Chappelle.
Those are some of the best episodes, Brian. Just so you know.
I need to go back and watch it. Yeah, like Chappelle Show had a fantastic skit with, I think, Joe Rogan.
Oh, he's actually on there?
He's on the actual skit.
And I gotta check that out.
Where he's playing the crack addict. What's his name?
Oh, yeah, no, he's playing Tyrone.
Tyrone, yeah. And it's so good. So
he just keeps eating all the shit, right?
He doesn't
disgusting.
care.
It was like some sort of like pig genitalia in like cream or something, and he's like, "Oh,
y'all got any more of that?"
Yeah.
He's like scratching his neck.
He's laying in some worms. Just take some newspaper, start sleeping. Everybody's just like,
"Oh, baby, got any more of that?"
Yeah, that is actually really good.
I love that.
But then so that one's fantastic. And then I also really liked Cash Cab. Like, it was kind of silly, but
yep.
is that the one they asked trivia inside the cab?
Yeah, exactly. And
then if you got it right, you got a free ride, and if not, they actually kicked you out. Like you had to find another cab.
Oh, there's something like that for like the Repo Man. I think it's called Repo Games or something like that.
Never watched.
But like the guy repossesses the car, and then he's like, "Oh, you get your car back if you can answer these 5
Junkyard
questions."
Wars?
Is that it?
I can't tell if that's a real show.
No, it was. It was like a Discovery Channel show where they had a bunch of like scientists like salvage stuff from a junkyard and make robots and stuff for like a specific channel.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
You didn't watch that?
No.
It was a great show. You should watch it.
Really good.
You probably won't, but I'm just saying it. I gotta say it.
Dude, we're gonna watch it. Damn it. And then I guess this is kind of taken a not a leap, but
turn
a stretch.
For the worse.
Turn for the worse. But same thing. How Survivor is technically a competition. For, you're working for money, so it's sort of a game show, like any of the Got Talent series of things.
Oh,
because
like
America's Got Talent, Britain's Got Talent. Technically, it's not really a game show. More of a talent show. But if you take the grounds of it being
people are doing stuff for money,
then those are definitely really entertaining. I don't know if this counts, but like some of the wacky Japanese ones, like Human Tetris.
Oh,
do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Human Tetris?
It was like something Tetris, and it was people
kind of like Hole in the Wall.
Exactly like Hole in the Wall. Hole in the Wall is the U.S. version of it.
Yeah.
And then Human Tetris is what they, I guess, translated the subtitles for.
Can I change my answer from Iron Chef or from Hell's Kitchen?
Oh, we already change it.
MXC.
Go for it.
Ninja Warrior.
Oh, damn it! I like MXC better. Shout out to my brother for doing Ninja Warrior, though.
Yeah, that's actually really cool.
Did he really? No.
Yeah, he did American Ninja Warrior. We flew out. Was it last year? We didn't fly out. We drove. That was a lie. We drove to LA.
So he won, right?
No, that motherfucker. If you're listening right now, bro, you're driving from Oregon down here. You take your time, damn it.
He just went too
quick. He made a goddamn fool of himself.
Actually,
it was dope. He was flying through like 3/4 of the obstacle course.
Did he make it past the first round?
No.
Yeah, because there's a lot of
Yes.
prelims and
Yeah.
stuff that they don't air. So technically, everyone who was there that day made it past like maybe 3 or 4 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, cool.
Because I remember when you watched it, like you couldn't talk about it until it aired.
Yeah,
I remember I was
there's
like, "What happened?"
NDA that I didn't sign, but bro was like,
Please,
don't say anything.
don't. Yeah, just for the heck of it. Yeah, I think Ninja Warrior is. That's also taking, a stretch because technically you're not competing for any money, right? It's just like for
No, Ninja Warrior, American Ninja Warrior is
money.
Is
Okay.
$1 million.
The original Sasuke though,
Yeah.
isn't. Okay.
Do you guys remember Viking? It was damn near the same thing as Ninja Warrior, but they didn't have Ninja Warrior back then. They called it Viking, and like one of the obstacles was like the pegboard.
Yeah, that sounds really familiar now.
What about American Gladiator? Are we going to bring that up too?
American
American with the
Gladiator.
Q-tips. Oh my god, I always wanted one of those.
I think that's what I was thinking of, American Gladiator.
Yeah.
But right on. Well, yeah. So I guess before we end the segment, we can kind of ask each other if we're actually watching anything we'd want to bring up and talk about, recommend. On
Again,
TV.
I'll go first.
Nothing.
Hey. Literally haven't turned on my TV. Haven't got to watch more Sense8. Haven't gotten... Actually, no. On the weekend I was watching Young Justice with Marisha. I actually got her into it, and I'm so glad because I love that show, and I'm not above watching it 20 times.
Ooh.
Yeah, we're like...
Absolutely.
What episode are they? I think we just finished Bereft, the one where they lose their memory in the Bialyan Desert.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
I did like that one.
But yeah, that's pretty much the only TV show I watched.
Okay. How about you, Ryan?
Well, I've actually been watching a lot of TV lately just because I haven't been home to play video games, but I've been able to have some downtime to watch TV shows. So I've been watching Chef's Table season 3. Oh my freaking god.
Good.
Holy hell.
Bad.
It looks
really bad.
The first episode of season 3 is
so bad.
so good that
It's bad.
it kind of ruined the other episodes for me.
I
because
don't know
it was
what you
so
like,
good.
Chef.
Well,
This.
so basically, because you guys have seen Chef's Table, right?
No.
No,
I haven't.
I
Chef's-
imagine it being a table for chefs.
It's a documentary about how they make tables. I'm just kidding. No, it's
I was like,
basically-
oh, interesting.
it's basically
How
food
it's
porn
made.
for Michelin star restaurants.
It's run them back. Say that one more time. Food porn.
For the best restaurants in the world. They go to Michelin rated restaurants.
As
and
in
they
the
just-
Michelin tires.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Michelin
He makes
Michelin
food.
Michelin tires has a international list of highly rated restaurants. I know that sounds weird, but it's true. And
Now I can't tell if it's true or not.
no, it is true. Look it up.
true.
Michelin star. You've never heard of a Michelin star restaurant, Patrick? Come on.
No, I've heard of Michelin tires, and when I was a baby, I had hella rolls, so my parents and siblings would call me the Michelin baby. And it's weird because I didn't outgrow that because I have rolls again, so now I'm just like the Michelin man.
You're a Michelin man. So basically, it's the best cooks in the entire world, and they just film with the nicest camera. They actually filmed this third season with the Red Dragon. That's
We are framing dragon.
Framing Dragon.
the Red Dragon is the camera they used to film Star Wars. The new
They
one.
used-
Oh, I was like the old ones.
No, the new
Yeah.
Ultra HD,
So it looks-
8K. It's seriously. I was like, why? I was like, how can I film stuff to make it look like this? What? And I looked it up, and they're using the newest Red camera.
So riddle me this: does it look as good as the food in Final Fantasy 15?
Better.
No, it doesn't.
Better.
Not to get a little taco on you, but no,
No.
no, it does. It's gorgeous. Don't watch it while you're hungry. You'll make yourself cry. It is
You'll
bad.
never eat
I'll watch it
something
while I
else.
work out.
I also started rewatching Avatar: At Last Airbender, so that was fun.
Yeah.
Oh, where are you watching that? Is that on Hulu? Netflix?
I just found a streaming
Okay, I'll do that.
watchcartoon.com or whatever it is.
Oh, that reminds me. I have to rewatch Attack on Titan.
Season 2's coming up.
Yeah, because season 2 is coming up in April.
What
remember
is that? The
quarter
actual
or whatever.
date?
Yeah, it's
I lost track because they didn't tell the actual date for so long that I just was out of the loop.
Yeah, I believe it's April.
Yeah.
Cool. Very cool.
Yo, April.
So interesting too, because we're thinking about it.
Misa thinking about it.
Thinking about it, Jaja.
Jesus Christ.
I was watching Death Note, and I found out that they're making a Netflix original movie.
Oh God.
And
No,
it's gonna,
yeah.
and it's gonna
Yeah.
be, it's gonna be Americanized. I'm interested.
American eyes.
American
Not American
eyes.
eyes.
American eyes. No more.
There probably will be
Shinigami
American eyes.
I hope so. So that's interesting. But then
Lights
so
being played by Will Smith.
he doesn't have American eyes. Wrong one.
No, but do you guys remember like the original Halo movie rumor where it was like Denzel Washington is gonna be Master Chief? Something crazy like that. We're like, why?
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense.
Like you don't even see the guy's face, anyways.
Oh, yeah, you can hear his voice in a voice changer.
That would be
Denzel.
awful.
Yeah.
Terrible.
But yeah, live action Death Note.
Come on, dude. Willem Dafoe as Ryuk sounds fantastic.
Wait, is he really?
Yeah.
Willem Dafoe is a good actor.
Maybe his voice.
That'd
I
actually
think.
be kind of cool. I like that casting, actually.
Yeah.
So that's good. And then I've watched season 2 of Voltron, Legendary Defender, and it's just like it's my Airbender basically because I just haven't Korra. Which no.
Yeah, I liked Korra's action. I thought it was like the action was really good for every single episode, whereas like the last Airbender, although it wasn't about the action, like the action towards the end was really good.
Mhm.
But the story is and the story and the comedy and like the whole thing as a whole was awesome. Whereas Korra kind of lost my interest within the middle and then at the end and also at the beginning.
Just everywhere.
But the action was cool.
Action was sweet. Yeah. So, that's pretty much what I've been watching. But cool. Well, yeah. Let's that'll wrap up what's on. So come back in a few moments, and we'll be on for our next segment, keeping it real.
Ladies and gentlemen, that topic was brought to you by Dialed In Project. Do you guys ever wish you want to relive a moment? Is that a weird question to ask? Did I ask that question correctly?
Yeah.
Seriously, this is not a paid program. Well, now you can. Dialed In Project is a local photography and videography business that can be there to capture every moment from every angle. Need a high-quality photo of your child's 5th birthday? Have a weekend but no photographers at the ready? That says wedding, but I said weekend. Want high-quality photos of your beach family reunion? Dialed In Project's got you covered. I personally contacted Dialed In Project, like I said, countless times before, probably 2 times, where I needed them to... Countless. After 2, it's countless. That's why baseball lasts so long, because you get 2 strikes and then no one knows what happens after that. But yeah, I had them follow me and take candid pictures while I was proposing to my fiance, and they took videos and they had different angles. The final product was awesome. You guys could check out their work on YouTube for their videos, or even just go straight to their website, dialedinproject.com. And you could check out all their good stuff there. High quality photos, lots of angles. They all look really good. But yeah, Dialed In Project. Relive every moment. Okay, guys, we're back to WhatisPodcast. This segment, we're doing Keeping It Real, the movie segment. Yeah, so let's start off the segment like we usually do with some news. So, did you guys know the Jedi in Star Wars, The Last Jedi,
Plural?
is plural?
Yeah. A lot of people are freaking out. Yeah.
So, instead of one person dying, it's the whole group of Jedis dying.
Yeah.
Jedi? Jedis. It's Jedi.
Jedi is the plural. Yeah.
I thought it was American.
It's so weird how this is like Americanized, not Jedis.
Gosh.
Oh my god, that came to bite us in the ass.
He's been waiting to use
so
that.
clever.
I'm so clever. But yeah, so it's a plural. Not really surprising. I don't know. How do you guys feel about this?
I mean, I can't say I'm like a diehard fan of Star Wars. Like I
You
really,
Trekkie.
I'm a damn Star Trek. I do really like Star Wars, and I would love to see the releases. So it's not something that like caught me off guard or was something that I was like, oh my gosh, like this is game changing. But it's definitely interesting because it's like, I mean, how many Jedis are there right now? Like 2?
So you got. Does Finn count as a Jedi? Because he turned on the lightsaber.
I don't think.
Do you have to be a Jedi to turn on the lightsaber?
I don't know. You can just turn on. Anyone can
We're
turn
probably
on a lightsaber.
people
He
are
has
probably
to use- I
clawing
think he has
their
to
ears
know-
off right now.
What
are you,
think you
Star
have to be a
Trek man?
Jedi to use
Right,
a
so
lightsaber, but I
technically,
think you
wouldn't
need
Finn
the,
have enough force to do that?
No, I don't think you need any force to use a lightsaber. It's just you use the crystals that are.
I don't know.
You don't need. It's not like forces that coming out of
You're
your
a
hand
nerd.
to power a lightsaber.
yeah.
Anyone can turn a lightsaber
crystals.
Yeah. So, mitochondrians. God damn the thing.
Metachlorians?
Metachlorian. Now that's some. I'm pretty sure that's not canon.
Mitochondria?
Mitochondria. But yeah. I mean, I know we obviously have
The Midas touch.
the Midas touch. Yeah, but we have Luke Skywalker, and then obviously, like, I mean, does he have any other family that we know of that's alive?
Rey.
But we don't know if Rey is going to be his daughter. We don't
But
know
she could
parents
use
yet,
the force.
so it has to be his daughter.
Yeah.
I just think of two. So yeah, they both die.
The last, or maybe they're just saying, "Oh, these are the last Jedi for
That
now?"
exist. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, it's a lot to try and read into. Ryan, what do you think?
Um,
How does this make you feel?
I feel like it's. I mean, are people? Is it been like who's saying that it's plural versus not plural? I mean, is it? I mean, just
So,
looking,
here's
just
a
looking
really
at, just looking
interesting-
at it from like why, like I would just think it's just one person, and then like
Okay.
for people to create this confusion, it makes me ask who said otherwise. And it has to be a reputable source. So that's kind of my.
Are you done?
thinking.
Are you done? Are you done? I'm about to mess your shit up.
Oh shit.
Nah, okay. Yeah, this article comes from IGN.com. In German, the words for "the last" help denote whether, quote, Jedi is being used as a singular or plural. As pointed out by IGN Germany, the newly revealed German title, Die letzten Jedi.
That made it so much better.
Die letzten Jedi.
All
Uses the
Germans
plural
know.
version, meaning it references multiple Jedi. If it was a single Jedi, it would be Der letzte Jedi.
Okay.
So, yeah, I guess that means it's plural.
Okay. I guess where they got it from. That. Okay. Yeah, they wouldn't mess that up to the point. Like,
Oh, what if they did?
Obviously, they did
They
it for a
could've,
reason,
yeah.
but I just don't know how much you can infer from the story, or
Yeah.
about the story from this.
Obviously, this is still really early out. I know it's not much to go on, but just a little bit of Star Wars news for the Star Wars fans out there. Another bit of news. Predator film gets an R rating, and there's a partial cast already. So, another article via IGN. It seems that the director, Shane Black, from Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, Iron Man 3, and The Nice Guys, took to social media and kind of not really confirmed that is a weird way that he put it. Let's just, he quoted, "And just to be clear, PG-13 is for pussies. Spines bleed a lot." End quote. So I'm sure there's going to be an R rating in there somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, going to the partial cast of The Predator, stars Boyd Holbrook, Keegan-Michael Key, Trevante
That
Rhodes,
was cool.
Olivia Munn, Sterling K. Brown, Jacob Tremblay, and the recently cast Thomas Jane. Ooh, from Punisher.
Which one?
Wait, is it Thomas Jane or is it Jane Thomas?
From
I think
the
it's,
original Punisher movie.
Well, there was an old Punisher movie, and
Yeah.
then we had the Thomas Jane one with
Oh.
the Russian, kind of the lower budget Marvel one.
Mhm.
But it
pretty
was I still like it. But yeah, that's the partial cast that we have so far for the new Predator film.
Interesting.
I have one bit of news that isn't really anywhere, actually. I'm just reading this on my own. Apparently, looking through the listed future releases for Disney, Kiki's Delivery Service is getting a to-be-announced live-action adaptation by Disney.
A live action adaptation.
Yes.
That
Disney-
Adaptation.
Disney,
Adaptation?
they have listed that Kiki's Delivery Service under the section of live-action movies is listed as something that they're going to be doing in the future as like a production. And there's no date on
That's
it yet.
awesome.
That's really cool.
Because
Yeah, isn't that
Studio
crazy?
Ghibli is whimsical and Disney is known to be whimsical. I mean,
I think
they're
they'll do
both-
it justice. I mean, I'm pretty sure they're the one that own the American distribution rights for Ghibli movies.
They do,
anyways.
yeah. They
So-
did
Yeah.
like Castle in the Sky and other things like that.
So It's funny because Disney has recently had this trend of turning their properties into live action films. With this most recent one going to be Beauty and the Beast. And from what I remember, I think I read an article that said something like they're trying to make Beauty and the Beast as close to the animated film as possible. And like you can even see from the trailer with the exact type of music like the movie opens up with.
This Wikipedia page just proves what you're saying. I mean, they have listed a Mulan live action movie coming out in 2018.
Oh yeah, starring Jackie Chan.
But they have some more to be announced, like live action movies that they have in the works. Aladdin, Cruella, Dumbo live action.
Okay, this is definitely gonna be another topic for another time, but we're gonna have like a topic of what do you want to see?
Peter Pan,
live action, yeah.
Lion King live action, yeah. Little Mermaid.
They have like 1 million live action Peter Pans though.
Yes, this will be interesting.
Don't know how I feel because I've never watched any of them.
The Kiki's one threw me off the most because it doesn't like all these other ones like I might expect, but the Kiki's thing is like pretty crazy. Like I didn't think they would actually. They have
I'd love it if they made like a Howl's Moving Castle.
They have a movie based on the Jungle Cruise ride coming out, live action.
It's like Pirates of the Caribbean.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Well, speaking of Disney, our topic for the day is, what's your favorite Disney movie? Definitely open to honorable mentions because picking one Disney movie.
I think you have to define it too for me to like. Is it have to be?
What do you like the most?
What did you enjoy?
I don't know how to answer that.
It all depends on what you feel is like. What's your criteria for something being your favorite?
Okay. No, I just meant from like something being like Disney or Disney related. You know what I mean?
Oh, I see what
like
you're saying.
Wasn't produced by Disney, but is owned the rights.
Let's do anything that Disney touched. So you can pick your Airbuds,
but not Marvel or Star Wars yet, right?
Yeah, let's not do Marvel or Star Wars.
That's fair.
Let's do.
You could do Pixar. Yeah,
Disney Pixar is probably the extent of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to set some ground rules because that's a big canvas. I mean,
yeah. Ooh, and you can touch the Disney Channel original movies.
I think I only like this. That's funny because like we had this discussion at work the other day because I didn't watch Disney Channel, but I did see one Disney Channel movie. Do you guys remember one where so you remember going to Chuck E. Cheese and then winning that kind of thing that's like, oh, drop me in water and watch me like expand into like.
Turns into a clone, right?
Yeah. Yeah. See? Yeah, like you knew exactly what I was talking about right after that.
No, I've seen that. I like
people were looking at me like I was fucking crazy. I was like, yeah, like it turns into a clone and he's like naked in his garage.
Yeah, it got really steamy.
Yeah, it was super hot. It was like a redheaded kid, right?
I think so.
It was like redheaded or brown kid.
Yeah.
I don't know, he's cute.
Either way, he's cute. Okay.
But yeah, that's like the only Disney movie I watched. Disney Channel movie.
Another fantastic topic.
You already know mine. But yeah, let's go with Brian. Why don't you start it off?
Okay. I think one of my just absolute favorites, and I guess it had to be The Incredibles.
Oh my god!
It's just so good. Like,
I just watched that this weekend.
You hadn't seen it before.
No.
You have just okay. Sorry,
I just
watched
it
again. Okay, that scared me.
Could you imagine if this was the first time I watched Incredibles? I would have blew my pants off.
Yeah, like I missed this for so long.
Arguably, the greatest superhero film ever made.
Yeah,
I would argue for it. Definitely,
I think it's great.
It's amazing.
Like it's just, I don't know. It's probably the Pixar Disney. It is Pixar, right? No, maybe it's just Disney. I think
The Incredibles is Pixar.
Yeah. Okay, good. I was not 50% wrong.
No, yeah, it's Pixar.
Yeah.
So it's strictly Pixar.
Strictly Pixar. So I guess we're saying it's fair game.
I actually think it might have been right before Disney bought Pixar. I'm not even sure.
Well, let me check out this wiki or this IMDb article.
Keep doing that. It's fine. But yes, we'll come back to that title if it does count. But I also really like.
I would say it still counts because Disney owns the rights to them
Pixar.
Still.
Yeah,
still owns the rights to the movie. Doesn't make it less of a Disney movie.
Correct. But it's just then it's just so good. Just the way they have the characters, just each being just oh gosh, like you said, you've seen so many different takes on like a superhero like story. and they just do it right. It's just like, it's funny, it's entertaining, and it's like everything about it is very memorable. And some of the lines, like, I just love some of the characters.
Like, it has like a very early comic book superhero feel where people are in dire situations, but it doesn't technically have to be super dark.
Yeah.
It's lighthearted, it's fun, it's vibrant. The characters are all well developed. Mm-hmm. They're very three-dimensional. The powers they like go to the base of like superheroes and be like, okay, this guy is just super strong. This guy is super fast. This girl is pretty much Mr. Fantastic. This girl it's the best Fantastic Four film
that will ever exist.
Yeah, it's so good.
A better one.
You know, and it's crazy because it comes in this unassuming package for kids.
Yeah, and it's good for all. Yeah, even adults. It's like,
I mean, that's the magic of Disney, right?
Yeah,
it takes all ages from kids from 1 to like 100. Mm-hmm, like everyone could get in on some Disney movies. I know there's a lot of people that don't like Disney, but for the most part, it reaches out to every single single person.
Yeah. So I would say that'd be my more like our most enjoyed kind of 2000s era Disney film. I think if we go 90s, I'd probably say like Beauty and the Beast. I really enjoyed. And then like I think the very first Pirates of the Caribbean, I think it was like Curse of the Black Pearl.
Yes,
that was fantastic.
Yeah, I did like that.
The other ones started to, I think we can always talk about that. They started to drop off a little bit, but definitely those are some of my favorites. And I think the most recent one that I liked is an honorable mention. I mean, these are all been honorable mentions. But
so what was your actual pick then?
Incredibles.
That was a great choice.
That's like my go-to. And then the rest were honorable mentions. And then I think the last honorable mention would be probably Zootopia. Like, it was super good. Like,
way more current. Your list.
Very current. Yeah.
Yeah.
Within the last 2 years. So.
What about you, Ryan?
I gotta say, Nightmare Before Christmas.
You son of a bitch!
Got him. I literally have that on my list. I almost used it. And I was like, I can't take that too.
You steal my topics. You steal my answers.
We're taking everything. You won't have any pockets left.
Well, I won't need pockets. They took everything.
I it's just, and I love this movie, and even since I was a kid, and I feel like that's kind of surprising considering how like morbid and creepy it is. Like, it really is
very hot
in my
topic.
mind Tim Burton's masterpiece. I mean, it's just so him, and the style is just so unique, and the claymation and stop motion is just so beautifully done. And it's this beautiful twist on
with a twist.
With a switch. It's a total kind of inversion of American culture and the way that we perceive Christmas. We have this certain idea of Christmas, and you take kind of the spooky neighbor that is Halloween, and you mesh them up together, and it's just so simple, but it's brilliant. And again, Tim Burton having such a strong visual style made the movie just so much more enchanting than had anyone else come up with a concept and executed it.
The thing that's great about that movie is you can watch that movie on Christmas or Halloween.
Yeah.
You get double dose. You get a twofer for sure.
And it makes for one of the best Kingdom Hearts levels too.
Best Kingdom Hearts level ever.
Yeah. But it's just so it's such a beautiful story of Jack's kind of humanity. Even though he's a skeleton, he's dead. But you kind of watch him rise and fall and have success and have it slip away and kind of find what's important in the world to him, even though it's through his own, just curiosity that he kind of travels this road, but life just kind of gets in the way. I mean, and it just kind of, he's fighting all these forces and he ends up on top, but it's just, it's just a very well written.
It's kind of a story of a man finding himself.
Yes, exactly. I mean, when he's laying in the graveyard after being shot down as Santa, and he's just like solemnly singing, and in the whole singing part too. I mean, that's just so Disney.
Yeah.
But they do it in such a a good way. I mean, Disney films.
It's not like overbearing.
Doesn't detract.
Yeah,
from the experience.
but it's and the songs are awesome and catchy, and it's not like campy and crappy, and I mean, and just the attention to detail too. I mean, even like the band, like the quartet that plays outside of his lab, like those are just so unique. Every single piece.
Nice work, Bone Daddy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's
I can like almost quote that movie from like the beginning to the end.
The attention to detail is just amazing. I mean, it's just probably my favorite. It's just so good and but morbid and dark, and it just doesn't feel like a Disney film, but it is. I mean, it was just a great collaboration with them and Tim Burton.
With Tim Burton. So like I was looking when I was making the topic today, I didn't know where I wanted to stand on whether it just be strictly Disney or Disney Pixar or just whatever, right? And I was like, I wanted to see where the kind of Nightmare Before Christmas fell, like on the dartboard. And so I was looking up like the inception of Nightmare Before Christmas. It turns out it was a poem written by Tim Burton in the I don't remember. Sometime long ago, but it started off as a poem that was almost eventually going to be turned into like a short series of episodes. And this was at the time that Tim Burton was studying as an animator through Walt Disney or through like the Disney Association. Yeah. And then it turned like he just kept kind of like adding more and more to it. And then eventually they came to an agreement, like a development agreement where Disney would produce it under Touchstone Pictures.
Oh.
Like that was for if you guys remember the original VHS, like it goes through Touchstone, but now they actually do own the IP ever since the 3D reissue.
Yeah, I remember seeing that came out earlier. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was like, cause that, like you said, that's like one of my favorite films ever. And every single thing about it, from the just like the aesthetic of each world, it totally nails what Christmas feels like. It totally nails what Halloween feels like. The songs aren't overbearing or menial in any sense. Mm-hmm. The characters are so like awesome, and like the humor of it, and also like the actual theme and story are great. Mm-hmm. Like it's such a good film. Stands the test of time.
Easy. Absolutely. I would say my runner-up would be Lion King, actually. I just feel like from a Disney perspective, you tend to think animated films, and that was probably my favorite movie other than Nightmare Before Christmas when I was younger. And it was just a really visceral and powerful movie, considering that it was considered a children's movie, right? I mean, you watch Simba's father die in this corrupt, there was an assassination in this movie. I mean, they were lions, so you didn't really think about it, but Mufasa was assassinated for power, and that's crazy. I mean,
never trust what they say. No. They're always lions.
Always lions.
That joke was so bad, I had to go. I just had to make a noise.
But it's just, it's very gorgeous, and again,
Hi,
very
Mom.
Hi, Mama.
No,
yeah, we're singing.
Yeah,
live
you want to
right
come
now.
sing with us? Come sing something for us.
I'm going to Kaiser. Do you guys want anything?
Oh, I thought you were asking if we wanted to come. Ryan, say hi to my mom.
Hi.
He says hi.
Hi.
Mom, you're part of the show.
Oh, okay.
Okay, drive safe. Love you.
Do you guys want anything? Do you guys want anything?
You hungry?
Deep dish
We
pizza.
can call you, right? We can send a call out after.
Yeah.
We'll let you know.
All right.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Mom. Love you. Drive safe.
Love you.
Special appearance by my mom.
Yeah. The T minus 5 minutes till bedtime, boys.
Team Mom.
Teen.
Yeah. But yeah, you were saying Lion
King.
King.
Lion King was not only very visually beautiful, but it was again, it's a movie that you could watch later on in life and you're like, whoa, like it's obviously a coming of age story with Simba, but there's just like these very dark themes and and it's just a very surprisingly like dark story and realistic and I mean, other than the talking animals part, but it was very well done, just from a story perspective, and again, just the animation was just it was just so ahead of its time for what it was doing. So it was just awe-inspiring to kind of like it's very cool to go back and like really appreciate it, because as a kid you're just like, yay, animals, but to go back and appreciate the artwork and the storytelling.
Lions. That one died.
That one's a tall lion. I think it's called something else. Yeah, I mean, so that's
arguably
probably
the best opening for a movie.
Oh,
do you?
Other than
as soon as they hit that note. So when
there you go.
I actually met the guy who there's a animal reserve in California within the near the Bay Area that former Oakland Zoo owners bought a big plot of land and put a bunch of like African animals on it to like help save and rehabilitate them, or not rehabilitate, but like give them a home basically. And
That's
one
awesome.
of the tour guides that I had when I was there, it's called Safari West. It's really cool. It's a really cool like day trip if you guys like ever have like a free weekend. But Safari West, one of their tour guides was he was from Africa, and he helped work with Disney originally, and then ended up helping with the theater production later on. And he was like our guide, and he like sang that song under like a big tree with like a bunch of water bison underneath it. It was just like, what is happening? Cool. This is so cool.
That sounds like you made that up because of how insanely awesome it was.
There's a video somewhere on my old computer of it. I'll find it for you.
That's awesome.
It was nuts. I know.
Super jealous.
Because when you're gonna have to tell me,
it's Safari West.
Safari West, and again, when he broke out into it, you're just like, what, dude? This guy actually knows the lyrics. He's not just a person like mumbling his way through it. Like, it was really cool. So,
I'm offended.
One last honorable mention I would say is probably, I was gonna say Pirates of the Caribbean, but Brian already mentioned that, so I'm gonna say Treasure Planet actually. So
that's a movie I don't remember. I remember watching it.
It's very it's underrated. It's very underrated.
Don't remember it.
It's not one that I think jumps to a lot of people's minds, but I really loved the sci-fi aspect of it. So,
yeah, definitely.
Little gem, if you're looking for.
Yeah. So mine, it's hard to pick.
What about the Lizzie McGuire movie, guys? Right? Am I right?
No, I'm more of the Cadet Kelly type.
I don't know what any of you guys are talking about because I stuck to Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, and other shows.
That's fair.
Well, that's where you messed up.
That's cool. You guys sound like nerds anyways. Yeah, kind of piggybacking off of Ryan, my favorite would have to be Night Before Christmas. It's such a great film. So I guess my runners up. So when I get asked this question, or when I ask this question, it's almost an ever-changing answer because of how great the catalog is for Disney. But Nightmare Before Christmas, that is my favorite. My fake favorite, I just like it so much because of the story, is The Hunchback of Notre Dame. That, you want to talk about The Lion King, how crazy it is to see his dad die. This movie opens up with a priest, or a high priest, chasing, pretty much purging gypsies.
Yeah.
And killing Quasimodo's mom on the steps of Notre Dame, seeing how ugly the baby is and deformed it is, about to drop this baby down a well to kill it.
Yeah. And
even the first time the pastor talks to him, he's like, you just killed this innocent woman in the steps of Notre Dame, and now you're about to have this baby's blood on your hands as well. And his response is, this is an unholy demon. I'm sending it back to hell where it belongs.
That's pretty
How
dark.
fucked up is that?
Yeah.
You know, like people don't really recall that movie as being like one of like the more darker ones, but it definitely is. It's almost unapologetically dark, and I think just because of that, it's not like I said, it's not my favorite because I don't get like all the aspects of it. The movie don't really work for me, like the kind of comedic relief of the gargoyles, the music. They have powerful music in there, but it's not catchy enough for me to remember.
Sure.
But yeah, definitely huge honorable mention for me because of the story, how into the story I am.
Yeah.
It's like so wickedly evil and amazing at the same time.
It was cool for them to take that chance.
Yeah. And this one is right up there with it. I was watching this movie with Marisha because she didn't really remember it. And last time she saw it was a kid, and kind of the same thing for me was Fox and the Hound.
I never really got to watch that.
You've never watched The Fox and the Hound?
I think I've seen parts of it, but I've never seen it complete. Like, I don't have memory of...
Oh my goodness. Like,
basically Air
the
Bud.
music isn't like the catchy thing. Basically Air Bud,
Live action.
No, so like the themes that Disney brings in their movies, presenting them as kids' movies and stuff like that, the themes are very strong. And this one is no exception. You have like two opposing, like, I don't want to say ideologies, but they're natural predators, not natural predators, but like they're on the opposite side of the spectrum. And they become like the most unlikely of friends. Later on, it turns out that they, like, throughout life, whatever stance they have, it's two best friends who grew up on the wrong side. And at a certain point, they have to meet each other and do
Battle?
kind of like,
Battle to the death?
It's close. It's very heart-wrenching in the sense that, like, there's a picture that this reminds me of where it was two best friends. They're kind of like holding each other by their collar, and one of them was like a resistance fighter, and one of them was like a SWAT team member. And the fact that they're like fighting each other, but you could see how much they care about each other at the same time because they were childhood friends and they grew up together, but different paths and lives like led them in different directions. And when they meet back up, it's kind of like holy crap, like how do you deal with a situation like that?
Yeah.
And it's very sad. And that movie starts off with like Todd's mom being shot by Hunter. The same Hunter that ends up bringing Todd's best friend into the world. And it's just so hard. Like, you don't know. There's no right or wrong side. You're just there to kind of just cry. It's so, like, my favorite Disney movies are the ones that make me feel
something.
That make me feel every emotion, like happy, sad, like enjoyment. Like, it's just a whole roller coaster of emotions. And that's why, like, Fox and the Hound is up there for me.
Nice. I can see it. I'll have to watch it then.
Yeah, definitely. It's on... Is it on Netflix? No, where did we watch it? We watched it on a stream.
Okay, I'll see if I can
something
find it.
online. But yeah, let us know what you guys think in the comments below. What's your favorite Disney movie and why? All right. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 7 of WhatisPodcast. If you didn't know, the show is available for you to download every Tuesday by 11 a.m. on iTunes. Just search WhatisPodcast, all one word. And once you're there, please hit that subscribe button, share this episode with your friends, and please rate us. That will be a huge help to get us out there, especially if you like more episodes. Please subscribe, like, and share. But yeah, if you want to get more of us outside of the show, you can follow my Twitch channel and YouTube channel, Krabby Patty, KRAB_B_PATTY. I'm going to try and be a lot more active on those because I'm going to be out of training by the time you guys hear this episode. Ryan, that native SF thing that's going on.
Yep. We released a new session recently over at the Music Concourse in Golden Gate Park. Super pretty. And we have another band coming up in about a week that we're going to be releasing soon. So keep your eye out for that. We're going to be filming over at Fort Funston. Super beautiful beach along the California coast. So we're going to have a lot of cool content coming out, and the website will be launching soon as well. So, definitely tune into Native SF if you guys are trying to find some good local artists to enjoy.
Yeah, and I know definitely we kind of talked about this last time, but we may, depending on if they want to or not, we may be able to have them as part of our show at the end. So we're trying to get that working as well. Brian, he's on his phone even though he doesn't want to talk to you.
Never.
And that's it.
Take it back.
That's another.
Talk to me.
That's another one for the books, guys. Thanks for another great week. Hope to see you guys next week. Oh, I'm sorry that I created all 3 topics for this week's show.
I know. I was gonna say though, like, that's why yesterday when we were talking about like taking over one topic, I'm like, shouldn't we like come up with a couple topics to like swap over to you, for it seems like you made all 3 and we're like taking yours, like.
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much.
No.
Cassis.